JP and Mia on the mic. We have our very first guest here on the podcast. We have our niece in love, Taniah, who is going to be talking to us today about what it's like to be a brand new doctor in these 2021 streets. So, JP's here on the mic as well. JP.
Hello.
That's what you're getting today. That's just hello. He's engineering our sound here. So, myself, I'm going to be leading us through a conversation with our lovely guest and co-host here. JP's going to continue his due diligence, hard work over here. So, Taniah.
Hey.
This is Taniah. Everybody clap. I know. I want to have one of those sound effects. Those. right.
Tell them about the boom boom room, Ray.
So, our niece has successfully entered the world of doctordom, and we are overjoyed, of course, for her success and her future success to come. You guys already know that JP and I have been together for 16 years. So when I met Taniah, she was a very lanky 11-year-old kid. So for me to see her journey that she's taken into the woman she's become is, I'll ugly cry later. Yeah, that's pretty much the emotion about it. So let's see, JP, how we want to kind of focus. Let's see, we'll
introduce Taniah and let her talk.
Yeah, well, okay. We'll do it like the first day of school. We'll say, this is Taniah, and Taniah will have you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, like Mia just said,
her voice is so
I am
cute.
Taniah.
This is the most precious thing. It's precious. That's
and
my
I
baby.
sound like a little kid on this microphone.
That's my baby.
But I'm
Lord
actually a
Jesus.
26-year-old doctor. Thank you.
Yes, snaps.
Let's see. I just graduated with my doctorate in physical therapy. And yeah, that's what I got right now.
How many years of school have you endured?
Oh my God.
Let's see, outside
if
of
you count, outside
beyond
of high
12,
school, right? Outside of high school is 7.
7 additional
7 total
years of school.
years.
Yeah,
So
man.
4 years in undergrad, where I had a bachelor's in kinesiology, which is basically human movement, and then 3 more years year round, mind you, in a doctorate program.
Yes.
So it's been
That's
a
how
journey.
it's done, y'all. Kinesia. Yeah, that's how you get there. Yes. Beautiful. So
what made you want to get into that field?
Well,
yeah, that's a good question.
when I used to watch the Cosby Show, and I saw their family dynamic, and I was destined to be a doctor. We won't talk about the
The real life.
Mr. Cosby.
The pudding pops.
Yeah, we won't talk about those specially medicated pudding pots. We'll move on. But I just love their family dynamic, and I was like, from the time I was a little girl, I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor. And growing up, my grandmother got sick, and it was just a lot of in and out of the hospital, a lot of trials and tribulations, and I decided I did not want to be a medical doctor anymore. I was tired of hospitals. I did not want to be the person that was always giving bad news. Instead, I wanted to be, somebody who could give hope and help people do the things that they wanted to do instead. So that's kind of where I fell into physical therapy. She was sick and had a lot of things going on, and I got to see the difference that physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, all of those things made in her life, and by extension my life. So that's kind of where I fell into physical therapy. So
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's great.
And where did you go to school?
So undergrad, I went to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. And for my graduate degree, I went to Governor State University in University Park, Illinois.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
Beautiful.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about your inspirations coming up. Family dynamic inspirations coming up.
That one is
So I'll rephrase it a little bit. So I know what you're saying, baby. Like things that she foresees in the future for herself in terms of a family or in terms of our family.
Your inspirations growing up.
okay.
Oh, who we
Gotcha.
inspirations growing up.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so then pass.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
here we go. We got you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my inspirations growing up. You know what? That's a good one. You know, I actually had a lot of really good inspiration. I'd probably say number one being my mom and dad. My mom, she just kept going no matter what. Through everything that she went through, everything that she was going through. You know, she had breast cancer at one point. She was taking care of my grandmother. She was taking care of our great-grandmother, taking care of us, basically the glue for our entire family. She still is in a sense. But I would say definitely her. My father, very much so. He was just always very open and honest with me growing up. He did not sugarcoat anything. He let me know about his struggles. You know, he didn't even graduate high school.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't graduate high school. He went to jail at one point. He was a drug dealer at one point. He's been married 3 times, and he has never, and not one time, sugarcoated anything in telling me his story. And the one thing that he made sure he taught me was that I could learn something from everybody that I came across. And so he was definitely an inspiration. Of course, Johnny. Johnny, my Uncle Johnny, I did not even know who he was to me for many years. Our family dynamic was so crazy growing up. You know, we had so many people living in the house at one point. Like, I didn't know who was who.
Is he my brother? Is he my cousin?
For many years, I thought he was my brother.
I was in the streets tingling and mingling.
Tingling, I wouldn't say that.
Well, I mean, you know, he's so much younger than all of his other siblings, so
Right.
it was
confusing.
he was closer in age to us, really, especially my brother, than he was to his siblings. So
That's funny.
yeah, I didn't know who he was. So,
Who is this
but
man?
anyway, he had his own, you know, personal struggles, and I'm sure he'll tell this story, and I'll give him the freedom to do that on his own time. I'm sure on another podcast.
Yes.
But Johnny had lots of his own struggles growing up, and he was always there for us.
Oh.
Always trying to give us an inspiration. He's the first homeowner on our side of the family. Well, probably second. Lonnie probably was the
Lonnie
first.
would be the first. Okay.
But
Yeah, Lon G.
Lonnie probably was the
We're the first one
but
in the
still,
new millennium. over
exactly,
here.
within the generation closer to me, he's our first homeowner, and just, you know, he's built a family structure that I think anybody would be happy to have, you know. So
Oh,
I know.
yeah, definitely
Ugly
Johnny.
cry.
My
Oh,
big
ugly
brother
cry.
is the same way. He's not the family structure necessarily.
Not that part.
but- not that part, but just, you know, he left to do what he said that he was going to do, and both of them, they always do what they say they're going to do. So I've had some very reliable people to inspire me on this journey. So that was my inspiration.
beautiful.
Yes. I'm trying to process. Man, I'm trying not to get emotional. All right. So we know that as a doctor, you're going to be getting to experience things that the rest of the family won't be able to experience. So what do you most look forward to as a doctor? Like what, even like minimum trivial things as a doctor? What's something that you definitely look forward to from this point through the rest of your career?
Paging Dr. Paden. Paging Dr. Paden.
See?
Do they still do that?
I don't think so.
don't
Everybody
really
has
page
cell
you
phones
anymore.
now, so they just
Oh,
They just
okay.
put it on your phone. Oh man, I can't be paged because that would be for me. It's
Tweeting Dr. Paden. Tweeting Dr.
See.
Paden. Snapchat. Whatever. I don't know.
pretty much they just send a text message now, like, "Hey, we need you
it.
over here."
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, we watch too much TV, y'all. So yes.
Let's see. What do I look most?
What do you look
from
forward
being a
to?
doctor? I think helping people. I think that's why, like, with what I'm doing, there's so many different paths that you can take, but the one that I want to, I think, kind of focus on and take is going to be the one where I actually get to see the benefits of my work. So these people will come in, some of them not even being able to walk, and they may leave walking.
They leave walking, exactly.
I mean, I can't imagine making a bigger difference in a person's life, really. And I am
give them mobility.
So excited to see that. Like, people don't know how much of a difference it makes when, you know, I just came out of the hospital, and there are so many people who apologize to you for having to, for lack of better words, wipe their butt.
Yeah.
You know,
They
this
feel
is
like
the
a
first
burden.
time. Yeah, this is the first time in their life they aren't able to do that.
Right.
And it's sad. And I always tell them, like, look, I do this for you now. Maybe you can do it for somebody else when you get a little bit better. You focus on you right now. You know, don't worry about that. But I look most forward to that, is like just seeing the difference in people's life that mobility makes. So that's my biggest thing. And of course, telling people what to do, right? Like
Delegating. We like that. Yes. Improving the human condition. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
I got a question. I want to go back. I want to go back to your high school years.
Okay.
And I'll leave this up to you whether or not you want to discuss this.
Okay.
You, how did valedictorian get stolen from you? I want to talk about the conspiracy theory.
Okay, wait. So we need to give some context first to the audience, our listeners. So give us some context.
I'll keep it plain and simple. Taniah was valedictorian. Like 3 days before graduation, they decided to give it to someone else.
Okay. And we'll leave it like that.
So it went.
What did they tell you? Yeah.
So you know what?
How you have a 5.986 and be
salutatorian.
How did that happen?
So it was so long ago. Honestly,
I don't care. It bothers me every night.
You said every night.
So I think what ended up really happening is that, like, my freshman year, they told me, no, I think my sophomore year, they were like, you know, you're number one in your class.
And it's like, oh.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
And so I was like, whatever. I think I told my best friend, and that was it. And so I think, like, sometime during our junior year, this guy was like bragging about how this other girl was number one in our class, and my best friend was not having it. She was like, excuse me? No, she's not.
No.
She said, it's Taniah, actually.
No, ma'am.
And so I think when that girl found out, like, that she wasn't number one in our class, she kind of had a little fit, because like 3 of her sisters before that had been valedictorian.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then you got instant competition.
So then I think what happened was that she probably went and asked, like, well, what classes do I need to take? Because some classes weigh more than others and all of that stuff. I think she just pushed it and was kind of strategic about it and just went ahead. And
But what was the difference between y'all? Because it wasn't that much of a point difference.
I have no idea, but I can tell you this. I hardly even really remember that.
Right.
But what I do remember is the difference in our speeches.
I still got that on my phone.
And the difference in our the audience response.
The audience response. Look at that.
Because they were so excited to have a young black girl at a mostly black school talking to them.
Yes.
So that was mostly the difference. And the girl was very nice. Like, she wasn't, you know, whatever. She was very nice. She just, I think, wanted to keep up that family legacy.
I guess. And I would imagine the pressure she was probably under too. It was like, hey, I have all these valedictorians. I can't let nobody take that from me.
Yeah.
So if she wanted it that bad that she strategically fought for it, I'd be like, just take it, boo.
That's how I felt about it. Because I didn't
be a doctor anyway.
Until I was told. It didn't even cross my mind.
Exactly. And I'd be like, you can be working at Ted's Montana Grill, but I'm going to be a doctor. So at the end of the day, this could go left or right.
I'm pretty sure she's not working at Ted Montana Grill.
We don't know that. Things happen. Moving on.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for that clarity, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Gosh, man. Yeah, I wasn't there live, but I've seen the speech, y'all. The speech is magnificent. That'll be for another pod, though. So I was like, ooh. So let's see. Okay, so let's pull away from like doctordom for a second, and let's talk about like you as a person, you as a fun person, you in relationships, because you guys know this is our marriage relationship podcast, so of course we're going to kind of parlay into that area just enough to make her stay comfortable. We're gonna stay in the green. JP is giving her crazy eyes over here, so But okay, so let's talk
Yes.
about when you're not working, because we already know you work and work and work. What do you like to do for fun? What's your hobbies? Like genuine hobbies, not like sleeping. Because we'll say sleeping quick, and that's not a genuine hobby. But I know sleeping is very important.
I'm
too.
not even going to lie to you. I have not had time for a genuine hobby.
People don't believe me when you say you don't have time for hobbies.
And
I know.
I don't know, probably the last year and a half. And right now, I'm graduated, but I haven't taken my boards yet. So
That's coming up, y'all.
I haven't had any time for genuine hobbies, the things that I think that I still like to do,
Yeah, 'cause
which
you've
I'm still not
evolved.
even sure. I love reading,
You don't have time for reading.
eating,
We like food.
cooking new meals. That's always fun for me. Yes, Johnny is very much like that
sees the
too. I like to work out from time to time.
Depending on the day. Okay.
And traveling. Oh, I love to travel.
Yes. And that's something we gonna get down. We'll talk about that offline. Yeah, we gonna plan our next trip together. All right. So, okay, so I'm just gonna kind of dive into the pool because I want to know.
Okay.
So tell me about your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. He is boyfriend. Okay.
No names.
We're not gonna give him a name. What do we want to call him? We'll call him boyfriend.
Guy.
Guy. Okay, so we'll call him Guy. Let's I guess what's the question that we get? The first question we get. How long have y'all been together? Right? That's the first one we usually get. So, how long have you and Guy been romantically together? And then how long have you known him?
Officially, we are coming up on a year. Actually, in a couple weeks here.
Good Lord, that's a long time.
Yes, we're coming
Okay.
up on a year in a couple weeks here. Like officially, we have known each other for what is it? It's 2021. I met him in 2013.
Okay.
So he was like one of the
yeah,
first people that I met at school when I went away to SIU.
Okay, college. Okay.
So yeah, that's
What was it? Okay, so at the time when you met him, he was just Guy, who I know. What was it about him that brought on different feelings? Because we could have, we friend zone guys quick. Like if he's a friend, he's a friend. But sometimes, of course, it evolves. Was that on purpose? Like, did it happen intentionally? And what was it about him that attracted you to him?
So, I mean, I think we always liked each other. I mean, we attempted to date.
Attempt. What's an attempt?
Yes, we attempted to date when we first met each other, but it just wasn't something that was in the cards
Okay. Okay.
for us at the time. He was very interested in he was not interested in being in a relationship, tied down, and
That's
we
real.
just were not on the same page for
Okay.
for a very long time. But we were always friends and always there for each other. So yeah, it just I guess turned into a relationship. But we'd known each other for a very long time before that, and we're just kind of there for each other. So
Oh.
It is. That's sweet. And it is so fresh, too. Oh. That romantic love is sparkly and the heart beating and you get off the phone first. No, you get off the phone first. That was me and John and JP here. You get off the phone. You get off the phone. All right, we're just going to sit here and breathe.
That is not accurate.
That is accurate. It
oh my
is.
goodness.
He will. He, all right.
We didn't even have phones back in the day.
We didn't have telephones. Anywho, okay, so it gradually happens. Okay, so
Yeah.
my biggest question, because we tend to struggle with work-life balance, of course, because we have babies and jobs, and how does he feel about you being a doctor? Like, that's a major thing for me. And like, how do you guys have time to still have date when you're going through this journey that he kind of got to just ride on? You got to just ride on that bus, buddy. If you're gonna be here.
Yeah, so we were both one. He's very excited and very proud. I can say we have kind of been on this back and forth journey together for a long time, and then as far as like dating and school and all of that, he actually, like I said, we both got our degrees at SIU. and he got his in political science and economics. And so he got a dual degree. So, I mean, when you're an undergrad, it's very easy to find time.
Yeah, season.
And then moving on, transitioning into like our actual like real dating
right.
period.
Out of college dating, it's different.
He was a branch manager at Enterprise.
Okay.
And so during that period of time, we really didn't see each other a lot. It was just a lot of phone conversations, a lot of, oh, are you free right now? Like, let's talk on the phone. Like,
hey, I miss you. I miss you too.
it was a lot of that. And
Right.
then probably maybe the 6 months prior to being like official, it was more like, I guess, more communication, more dating, more talking kind of thing. Let me see. I'm trying to think. And then coronavirus hit.
Good old Corona.
Yes, coronavirus hit. And
the
I
condola
was
virus.
at school. We didn't go into school anymore. So
Right.
I had all the free time in the world
Yeah.
at that point in time. And he had decided to leave Enterprise, actually, and work for a trucking company.
Okay.
And so he was very nervous about taking that step.
Right.
Because, I mean, Enterprise is a sure thing,
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
with that job, he actually got to pretty much make his own hours.
Okay.
And he was making more money than at Enterprise. And he had a lot of free time, too. So,
worked
before I went back to school, before he actually left there to study for the LSAT.
Okay.
So
Ooh,
before that time, then it was pretty easy just because both of us had so much free time. So
The world shut down. So
it's going to be interesting this next phase because I'm going to be working, and so will he. He has a CDL, and he's going to be driving for a little while before he starts this venture of owning his own trucking company. So he'll be driving for a while. So this is going to be an interesting change in our dynamic.
well, but that's what it's about. It's phases. So you have what I call seasons. So sometimes the season is summery, it's sunny, everything's good, we getting along, the stars, the planets are aligned, we talking. Sometimes those seasons turn to fall, and it's like, dude, I don't get to see you, and then becomes the resentment feelings and the we need to change, and I'm desperate, and it becomes a lot. So it'll be interesting. So you said he's studying for the LSAT. Did he stop studying for the LSAT, or he's still doing that?
So he took the LSAT, and he scored like 5 points lower than he needed to score. So,
wow, 5.
Yeah. So he was like, you know what?
Let me
like,
just.
I had. This was my secondary plan anyway. Like he was going to do the trucking company regardless.
Okay.
He was planning on starting the trucking company, going to law school.
Okay.
And that being his way to pay for law school.
Okay.
So he's like, I'm just going to wait. I'll take a class. I'll take the LSAT again. I'll take it as many times as I need to pass it.
And it'll always be there. You can always take the LSAT.
Yep.
But a business, when the time comes, it's time to do it.
Yep.
Look at that. See? The doctor and the lawyer. You see that, right? Yeah, I see what's happening.
Which was actually unintentional.
Right.
It goes all the way back to the Cosbys, right?
Exactly. That's your, you manifest things. So it's like, hey, you manifesting. But silly. I manifested a husband and a daughter and a son. Like that's what I always had growing up as a little kid.
Yeah.
Was a daughter and a son and a husband, and he had very specific features that JP has. So you manifest things. It just sort of happens.
Yeah.
So that's great. Look at that. Are we excited for her?
Yes, extremely.
Yeah. Extremely.
I'm so happy for her.
It is. So that's where they're going. I wish we had Guy here to talk to us. Oh man, we gotta tell him we've been talking about him on the computer, on the interweb, but all good things.
Well, maybe another show. I'm sure he'd be happy
I know. Yeah, we have y'all as a couple guests. I know. We had to get some bigger space, y'all, because we still in the closet. So yeah.
Go ahead.
We good. Oh no, you go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I'm just gonna kind of close us out a little bit.
Okay.
Let's see. So I guess I want to do something like JP give Taniah advice, and I give Taniah advice for going forward. in, I don't know, life, relationships, whatever you got. Let's see what we can kind of feed her because we kind of OGs in the game, right? I guess 16 years would be old, so OG.
Something. Basically, what I've always told her since she was little. Life is about making it, not who makes it the fastest. Just do what you do and do the right thing all the time, and it'll work out. Always.
Mm-hmm. Snaps for that.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. And I've actually I volunteered the information and haven't thought of anything yet. I would say follow your instinct, gut instinct. That thing doesn't lie. And like I tell people a lot when they ask me about how I went from a really cushy human resources job for 11 years to being a teacher in middle school at that. They were like, you went straight to middle school? Are you, a stickler for torture? And I tell them I would dream about it. Like literally it would haunt me that I'm not a teacher. And I would wake up like, I'm not in school right now. Or, I missed the bus, or I was helping a kid, and it was weekly. And so I said, something is happening in my subconscious that is trying to push me out of where I am to get to where I'm supposed to be. And now that I'm here, I am the most fulfilled ever. Like ever. I am so happy and stressed out and crazy, but I'm happy. So I would say trust what you're feeling. And sometimes it's hard because I ignored it for 6 years. 6 years I was like, no, everybody in my family is a teacher. I don't want to just follow and be what everybody else is, because that is old and monotonous and I don't want to do it. But there was something that I was supposed to be doing. There is some child who needs me. And so for you, I would say where you are and where you believe you're going, follow it. And because when it's trying to change paths, you will. It's going to open up for you. It's going to be like, hey, we're here. Go there with Guy. Just allow it to kind of flow, because that's essentially the reason why we've been together as long as we have, is because we just never really broke up. Like we didn't really have a reason to break up, and we were always getting better. So JP has made me a fantastic wife and mother, and the woman I am is all because of his guidance. And I'm sure I've had at least a little bit of inspiration on him, a little bit of movement on him.
I don't cuss as much in public.
That's what I have done for him, y'all. So, but we've made each other better. And that's just your instinct, like, hey, I need to tell him this so that he can be better, even if it's going to make him mad.
She says, stop cussing in public so much.
And so, see,
I can tell you he was quite the public cusser.
So
him
not
and his
so
sister
much
did
anymore.
Not mind.
Letting
They did not
loose.
mind acting up in public.
Cutting it up. So, but yeah, just hey, even if it's a temporary discomfort, if it's something that's going to make you better, then just allow it and open and keep it open. So, yeah, that's what we got.
You got a quote for this week, man?
Do I have a quote for this week? Yes. No, I don't. What we got? What we got, babe?
You got a quote that you like?
Johnny likes to give the listeners a motivational quote.
Last week it was juvenile.
That we didn't plan that. He just like burst out. So let me see. WWJD.
What would Johnny do?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, y'all thought I was gonna say Jesus, didn't you?
That's where I was going with it.
What would Johnny do?
All right, ma'am. That's that.
Okay, I can't say
Get
it.
off the mic.
Thanks to our beautiful, accomplished, wonderfully gifted niece Taniah for joining us on our mini session here. Thanks to our listeners, of course, for listening in on our newest episode. And of course, we're going to continue to try this out and see how it goes. And we're just going to feed off of your energy. And we have subscribers, which trips me out. So, yeah, thank you guys for subscribing and listening in. And we will be back to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
I'm both manic and impressive. Depression stays in my guest room. I tried to be ghost, just not built for the chest wounds. Was that too soon? Gay said, "Ho, please no goons." Discovered my religion, full grown beer like boom. Black ribbon in the sky, voice in my head always assumed. Got judged by 12 while looking over my tone. Out of body experience, off of same peer events. Wifey got me using fancy GRE words like hints. Fourth.